What is up, guys? This is one and only your global Indian. This video basically is what is the difference that I found out after coming to India after 1 year, or living in the United States. What is the difference that I found out after I arrived at the airport? So these are the changes that I found out in the 1 week that I spent in India right now, and this is my second week going on. So first of all, talking about the environment. As soon as I got off from the airport, from the immigration checkpoint, and I got outside of the airport, I found out the temperature. The temperature was a really big thing for me. It was 30 degrees Celsius in India, and I came from temperature that was around like 15 to 17. Even though it's around 15 degrees Celsius in America, the weather seems to be a perfect weather, although it was supposed to be summer right now. However, I found like it's a really good environment, it's a really good climate in US, while I experienced around 30 degrees when I came to the airport and 40 the next day, which is extremely hot. So that is around like 100 or 100 plus Fahrenheit, considering the fact that Fahrenheit is the measurement that's used in the United States. So first thing was the climate, and talking about the second thing, what I noticed in 1 year of time is a telecom company named Jio that took over. So Jio is a company that started almost about like September or even before that. What it did is like it introduced its amazing telecom plans with which each and every individual was able to get a mobile phone and free service for 6 months. So that's like one of the amazing things that I found out, and they have introduced 4G, which is by far the best 4G in India. So that was a really big change that I found out. Each and every person was going with Jio. So the third major change for me that I found out in India was driving itself. Considering the fact that I'm a really good driver and I like to drive in both the countries, United States and India, the rules and regulations are still different for both the countries. Now in India, we drive on the opposite side of the road. By opposite side, I mean we drive on the right side of the car is where the driver's seat is. And you sit over there, also you drive on the right side, you overtake from the right side and not from the left side. So one of the major changes while driving in India, also being stick shift as one of the most common cars. Even though you have option to get automatic transmission, but most of the cars, especially my dad likes to drive the manual transmission, and I have an automatic transmission car in US. So it was really different for me, as after 1 year I was gonna drive on the Indian roads, and this traffic is also a little bit bad, as I live in Plattsburgh, which is like a small city in US, but in India, and I live in a city which is like not a big city, but it's not as small city, and the traffic could go crazy sometimes. Also in India, the place where I live, there's not a lot of stop signs, or the stop signs do not work the way it works in US. So it's like you have to stop for 3 seconds at the stop sign in the United States, and you have to look around so that there's no pedestrian crossing or there's no car coming from any of the other sides. So it's a little different the way it works with the stop signs. And so is the fact when you're stopping for an individual and they're crossing from the crosswalk, the cars they're not so much distant. So in India, the cars, they're not so much distant as compared to the US. You have to make sure in US that the car is above a certain distance that has been prescribed by the rules and regulations of the motor vehicles. So that's one of the major things I noticed. And also like in India, sometimes you'll see people coming straight on the roads and they're crossing whenever there's no crosswalk or there's no proper crossings, which is also very common. It sometimes happens in the United States, but it's not as much as compared to India. It wasn't hard to get acquainted to driving cars in India, but at the same time, my dad let me sit next to the driver for at least 2 to 3 days, and he didn't let me drive the car so that I have an idea that I'm still driving differently, although it's the same way that you drive a car with the steering wheel, just the transmission being different. But you still need to get acquainted, considering the fact you drive on the right side, and in the United States we drive on the left side and we overtake from the left side. But it was fun. It was fun driving in India, and I still like to drive. I can go on my own until my dad trusts me that I don't crash the car. So that's very common. And thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and if you want any other topics to be covered regarding studying as an international student, I'd like to touch the base of that topic, or as far as I have the knowledge about it, I'd like to share about it on YouTube. Thank you very much.